Limiting beliefs will destroy you faster than anything else. I was having a conversation last night and I was thinking about how far that I've come. And I was asked a question, well, how do you think you got here? And the answer that I gave was because I don't have a choice. And I was thinking about this idea of limiting beliefs and where so much of my life was when I was younger. The drugs, the alcohol, being obese, smoking, the chaos around money, just everything was a nightmare, right? These limiting beliefs, man, they really get in you. They hold you back. They keep you stuck. And tonight and today, well, I guess whenever you're listening, I want to talk about the keys to actually breaking free of them. So today we're going to talk about what are limiting beliefs? How do you identify them? And how do you really change the narrative? First, let's look at what a limiting belief is. These are the thoughts where it's like, you can't, you are not good enough, this is for someone else. Maybe you think I'm not smart enough or success is for other people, not me. I have been there. When I started my first legal business as a professional photographer, I undercharged tremendously. Now, what does business have to do with limiting beliefs? Well, the answer is everything. And in fact, I undercharged so tremendously that I might as well have been on welfare because I had no money to survive. If not for having 3 roommates, I don't think I would have been able to pay my rent, let alone buy food or take care of myself. And so I was going out to photo shoots. I'm charging this super low amount. I'm maybe making, by the time you factor in driving there, gas prices, grabbing something to eat, coming home, editing for anywhere from 4 to 12 hours, delivery, running the business expenses with overhead, blah, 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 so on and so forth. I was maybe making $4 an hour. And one day I'm in Seattle, I'm having dinner with my mentor, and he asked me about how much I charged. I told him, and he looked at me like I was a crazy person. And he gave me some really powerful insight, which changed my mind in the way that I thought about this belief I had that I shouldn't charge more. He said that in order for you to be successful, you're going to have to pay, people are going to have to pay you for what you're worth. And I was just like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing. And then I started thinking about it. Well, how do you apply that to other areas of your life? But you have to understand why these limiting beliefs are so powerful. Limiting beliefs create fear. Fear creates avoidance, and avoidance keeps you stuck. And so if you think about it in your confidence, every time you listen to that inner critic, you chip away from trusting yourself. And if you don't trust yourself, you're going to stay stuck because you're going to avoid. And so if you pause for a second and ask yourself, where did this belief come from? Was it even mine to begin with? Or was it something I picked up from someone else? You ask yourself these questions and it starts to create some clarity. And once you have that clarity, now you can begin the process of breaking free. Here's what's so interesting. There's really kind of a key to breaking free here. It's kind of a 3-step process. First is you need awareness. You have to notice when these pop up. What I used to do is I would just write them down. A limiting belief would pop up. I'm not good enough. I'm going to ruin this relationship. I'm not worthy. No one's ever going to love me. No one cares about me. I mean, I even hate saying it right now, but I would write these things down. And the more that I wrote them down, the more that I was like, this is nonsense. And that's part 2. That's the challenge. You have to ask yourself, what evidence proves that this is true? Now, most of the time, it's not going to be true. It's not going to be based on fact. And in fact, it's going to be based on programming from childhood. On the case scenarios in which it is true, that means you have some work to do. Because if you're sitting here telling yourself, and this is just a true story, you're sitting here telling yourself, I'm not obese and you're 350 pounds, you're a liar, right? That was me, right? And the third part, so again, let's look at this again. You have awareness, the writing it down, you have the challenge, the questioning it, and then you have the reframe. The reframe is replacing the belief with something empowering. Instead of I'm not good enough, you go, I'm learning and I'm improving. I am a learner. Now, here's the hard part about the reframe. It can't just be words. You have to have actions behind it. So many people only do affirmations and they don't add anything on the backside, which is the action itself. Because when you take action, you're training yourself about a new reality. If you are just talking, nothing changes. So it's not enough to be like, oh, I'm acknowledging that I'm obese. I am going to create a change in my life. You can't wish yourself into health. Like, I had to do the work. And the same as with the business, the thing that I had to do, even though, and guys, I was terrified because I was barely surviving to begin with. I was thinking to myself, okay, I am going to charge somebody $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. And it kept working and working and working. And I would build that business up and up and up. And it only happened because not only did I walk through this same process and luckily enough, I had a mentor who called me out. It was, I brought awareness to it. I challenged the idea that that was true. I reframed it and basically told myself I am worthy of success as this photographer and in this career. And then I took the action of actually raising the prices. So here's the thing. If you're stuck, if you're like, well, what do I really do? You can schedule a call with me at any time. If you go to thinkunbroken.com, there's so many free resources. You can get access to my book. You can listen to over 800 episodes of the podcast. There's tons of courses. There's tons of events and experiences you can get access to. Go over to thinkunbroken.com. Let's take the next steps. And until next time, my friends, be unbroken.